Guys, what are you doing standing around my bed? This hasn't happened like 3 times in the past, right? This is just the first time we're doing this? Okay, I just woke up. Who's Gramps? Does anyone know who Gramps is? Any of us? Just gave us the name Gramps and didn't actually introduce any of you to him? Yeah, funny thing, time stopping. It's like nobody's remembering it because, well, time stopped. Oh well, last time on Final Fantasy III, we saved the water crystal, and also we did not save Arya Bennett, who kind of just got, I don't know, sounded like she got hit by water from Kraken. But, since we rescued the water crystal, not only has time continued, but we have new jobs, which I've already explained in the previous video. So, we're going to change Ayla to a Dark Knight. And that's it. Yeah. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of the water crystal jobs, and it's only been a few parts since we've actually got the previous crystal. Like, come on, only a single, well no, 2 dungeons, alright. 2 dungeons, and then you get new jobs. Hey up, what? Okay, these guys are the best. Wow, they just showed up to do that. Are you sure they're not? It looks pretty impressive. Look, Xavier, just because you're wearing pajamas doesn't mean that you're the Warrior of Light. Maybe we've been wrong all along. I mean, those men were pretty powerful. Their mere facial hair glitched out the emulator. That's gotta count for something, right? Well, I suppose we might as well explore Amur for a bit. This guy will tell us about her jobs, which I don't think we talked to anyone like this the last time we got the, crystal before the water crystal, which was the fire crystal. I remember that, totally. I've explained all this. So why did I talk to him? I mean, to be fair, that's his only job. He follows us around just to do that, so I'll give him a little bit of credit, you know. Let him talk about our jobs for a bit. I don't think there's anything too new here in terms of items. Well, I'm sure it's not my ship. I mean, come on. I'd be really embarrassed if some dork called Goldor locked our... Wait a second. No, that was our ship. Oh, well. Seems we can't actually fly anywhere because this guy just came along while we were knocked out, somehow knew that we were here, by the way, and just chained our ship down, so now it can't go anywhere. We're hearing a lot about this Goldor guy, but we really can't do anything about him at the moment. And that's exactly why. We will die if we attempt to cross the swamp. I don't know why there's an old lady just hanging out in the sewers, but hey, whatever floats your boat. Of course, considering it's a sewer in an RPG, it's probably a dungeon, so more work for us. Nah, you've just been time-stopped. Also, how's Ayla with the piano? As it turns out, pretty damn good. I didn't even know the piano could make some of those sounds. That being said, you guys work on the dancing. I mean, I like the pirouettes, but other than that, you're like a step away from square dancing, which really shouldn't even be called dancing. I mean, come on. It's like the laziest dance of all time. I want to dance without putting any effort in, to the point where even if you sort of just nervously shuffled around the dance floor, that would count more as dancing than what we're doing. Alright, healing fountain here. And... Just a house with no door. Do you have to wonder why that's... Excuse me, lady. Excuse me, lady. Get out of the way. Come on. Move it. Move it, move it, move it, move it, move it, move it. There we go. Jeez. So anyway, as I was about to say, I do have to wonder why those houses are there. I mean, if you can't enter them, they're kind of just a waste of space. See? Like right here. Who lives there? I hope nobody. Because if somebody does live there, they're dead. It's an unpleasant thought, just getting sealed in a house. Sounds like being a princess isn't that easy. But what I meant to say was, to be fair, she is the one that said she shouldn't go along. But, you know, I do kind of want her to come along. I mean, her and Sid, they've been pretty good. Everyone else, could really do with some improvements. To both of them, really. I mean, they are both dead, so, I mean... To be fair, I think Arya needs to improve slightly more, though. At least Deshk died jumping into a furnace and, you know, doing something that is apparently pretty useful. Arya, no, just got hit upside the head by water and she's dead. After a battle. She just laid there for a bit. It's kind of tragic, really. Alright, I'm just gonna die here. The most anticlimactic way possible. While they go fight Kraken. Alright, what do we got here? Battle Axe, Mangush, Thunder Spear. Don't think you need to bias. Well, no. If you have a Dragoon, there are going to be some pretty good pieces of equipment for the Dragoon later on. That being said, you probably should buy Thunder Spears at some point, and in fact, I will be, for reasons we won't see for at least a little while longer. I mean, it's not for Goldor Manor or anything, because you don't need a Dragoon for that. After that, though... Alright, let's see. Around here, there should be some secret items, but I think this is where we have to go to progress. Yes, indeed. Well, I was with you until you said it smelled bad, so, don't know if we can do this. Oh my god! They've made it outside of reality. How do they do that? That's pretty impressive, actually. They just left the boundaries of reality, and were able to use that to eavesdrop. You know, the more we go along, the more I'm convinced that they really are the Warriors of Lights. I don't know if I can do that, but I can certainly try. Alright, I think this is actually where most of these secret items are. Got a bunch of Yesal greens. Keep wanting to pronounce it Gyashal just because that's how I did it when I was a kid. Also, in the original version of the game, these were carrots. Which kind of makes sense because these, you know, they almost look like carrots. Almost. They're bushes. Somewhat carrot-like, right? Alright, and we go up the waterfall, and here you're probably going to want to use the zoom in function, because otherwise some of these items can be, yeah, just like that. See? I mean, I guess you could probably guess that somewhat, but the one over... Oh, I guess there isn't one over here. Must be on the other side, then. There we go. Here's the stuff. Thief Gloves and Black Cowl. That's actually some pretty good equipment, especially for characters who can't normally equip, like, really good armors or stuff like that. It's lighter stuff, which I believe the Black Mage can use, so I'm probably going to put that on William if that's the case. Alright, but that's done, so, yeah, here we are at the Amur Sewers, or just sewers as it is. Really, this isn't a very hard dungeon. I mean, if you want, you can go outside and grind, but honestly, the monsters out there are tougher than the ones in here. Also, Darklegs over there is pretty great. We'll get to him in a second, but, The other one is a Gigantoad, similar to the Poison Toad because it can poison you. Other than that, weak to lightning, nothing much else to it. As for the Dark Legs, they're pretty great because, in the original NES version, they were called Darkfoots. That's a pretty great name. Also, I'd like to point out that the wiki describes them as, and I quote, "They are of no threat to the party." When the wiki says you suck, you know you've got a really weak enemy. It has no special abilities, it's weak to fire, and its stats are terrible. So yeah, it really is no threat to you. And really, Gigantoads aren't much better, but at least he put up a fight. A little bit of a fight. Not much of one, but, you know, he at least attempted something. Old Darkfoot there, though? Nah, nothing. There really aren't many enemies in the sewer, though, and I can't really think of anyone that's particularly a huge threat. As I said before, the most difficult enemies at the moment are the ones outside of town, so do be wary of those guys. They're in trouble, but the music is so joyful. Alright, so now we have a fight with the Gigantoads. I guess this is the closest thing that this dungeon has to a boss, just 4 Gigantoads who... Actually, that's a pretty good looking formation they have. Are these the Gigantoad warriors? Do we have 3 sets of warriors here in the sewers? Oh well, I suppose this will show the old men that you really should have separate job classes. I mean, what were they, freelancers? Come on, they need to mix it up a bit more. Do hope they succeed us, though. That would be pretty great. I want to play as those guys. They're far more interesting than, like, any other characters in this game so far. I mean, granted, if you just run in, pose, and run out, I will probably like you more than pretty much any other given character. But, legitimately, they are very entertaining, unlike basically everyone so far. Especially our own main characters. I mean, come on. Does anyone here really have much of a personality? Dante is the leader guy. William is the nerd. Ayla really doesn't want to do blacksmithing, so she fights stuff instead. And Xavier, he likes the princess. Those are their personalities right there. See, I was able to talk about them pretty completely in the span of a single battle. There's really not much to them. Oh, darn it, I was hoping William would kill that toad. And this should finish it, though. Was hoping he'd get staffed to death, but hey, you can't have everything. And everybody but Dante gets a job level up. At least they're not that important. Cough, cough. We done thought we would get bested by toads. Well, maybe you just need practice, guys. Alright, well, they're just gonna hang out here for a little while. Oh well, I guess in the span of a single video we've proven that they're probably not the Warriors of Light. Really don't like this outcome, but I guess we won't have a game where we play as these 4 old dudes, even though it would be far more interesting. But with that done, we continue our journey through the sewers. You know, there's sewers and all, but this is a decent dungeon, actually. You know, it's nice design. The tile set looks alright. You know, it's unique. I mean, it's a sewer, but still. There isn't really a lot to say about sewers, is there? I mean, I don't quite hate sewers as much as most people seem to. Oh yeah, by the way, those are twin leggers, which, great name there. I didn't think they'd choose that for a Final Fantasy game, but, whatever. I guess it's gonna be some people's favorite enemies, but whatever. They don't have any weaknesses, but they don't have any special abilities. Their stats are... They're better than Dark Legs, I'll give them that, but other than that, nah, they don't have much to them. Right, back to the dungeon. I don't know what to talk about. It doesn't have its own music theme. Actually, to be honest, I kind of like the color scheme from the original version. This one is very dark, which, you know, I know there's sewers and all, but I do kind of like the bright colors, well, slightly bright colors of the NES tile set. It's got a bunch of nice blues and all that. Alright, these guys are Stropers. Alright then. They're weak to lightning, but their attacks can cause paralysis. So, there's one last enemy in this dungeon. So that one might be slightly tougher. Oop, they can also confuse you with their stare ability. But there's one more enemy left, which I think is slightly tougher than them, though, to be honest, the fact that they can confuse you... Ooh, actually, yeah, I'm operating at half my party, unfortunately. Oh dear, oh dear. Okay, well, Ayla was so confused she stabbed herself, but at least that put her out of confusion. And hey, what do you know, now only one party member's paralyzed. Okay, so this team probably is the most powerful in the dungeon, or this enemy, rather. Well, to be fair, they were an enemy team. Now it's only one guy, but now it's 0 guys, to be completely fair. Before they were probably a team. Or maybe they didn't like each other, but they just happened to be in the same room and decide to work together. Let's see, Power Bracers and Poison Dagger. Ooh, Poison Dagger's pretty good. Probably gonna give that to Dante, considering the fact that it's actually fairly powerful. Dante can wield it. He's one of the only classes that can wield daggers at the moment. And as the name implies, it inflicts poison, which is pretty good. It's one of the few status effects that actually works most of the... well, not all the time, but, you know, a fair few times. And we've reached the end of the sewers. Hey, old lady, give us some shoes. Really? She's not the other person that lives in the sewers? Good we found her first, then. Excuse me? I mean, those 4 old men are obviously the Warriors of Light. I mean, come on, look at them. They glitch out the emulator. Huh? Oh no! Oh no, shoes with the most wimpy explosion ever. Oh, the old men saved our life. Good thing we've got shoe aficionados on our team. So they knew those were actually bomb shoes. See, look, she is so much more fine with these 4 old men. They clearly have more charisma than we do. Well, it's probably not bottomless, it would just kill us if we drowned in it. You know magic? Why didn't you just use that? Oh, these old men. I'm pretty sure they're stronger than the game's giving them credit for, but... ah, well... they might not be joining us, but we do have the Levigrass shoes, so next time on Final Fantasy III, we'll be using these to go visit that Gold Ore guy so we can get our ship back.